okay. See? Just me.
What's up, guys? In today's video, I would like to give some information and advice to future PlayStation 5 owners. So in the summer of 2021, I was able to obtain a PlayStation 5. I did mention it in passing, but I wanted to make this video to share my thoughts on it because I feel like there's a lot of information in regards to this system. Most of it is accurate, but there are some myths and there are some exaggerations on things involving it, whether it's the features or what it's capable of doing. And I just want to shed some light on that and just share my honest personal experience with the system. So in this video, we are going to talk about backwards compatibility, PlayStation 4 games that upgrade to PlayStation 5 games. Are PlayStation 5 games really $70 a pop? What games run at 120 frames per second? Was Sony's SSD storage expansion slot a good idea? And what games did I play first? Which I think, of course, this is all on personal taste, but I think it's just interesting to share what the first couple of games I ended up playing on the console. And lastly, I just want to share a little advice to people who are still having a difficult time picking up the PlayStation 5. So we have a lot to talk about, so let's just get right to the video. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I am Ryofu, and you are watching The Gaming Harbinger. So out the gate, I just want this to be clear that my capture card does not record in 4K. That is something I plan to upgrade in the future, but for now I think 1080p more than gets the job done. But I think it just goes without saying that what I am showing you looks even better in 4K. Okay, so let's just start off with the color of the system. So yes, I did change my faceplates to black. I actually think the original color scheme looks great. It just doesn't match anything else in my place, so I changed them. I guess when it's white, it matches my iPad, but yeah, my whole house does not look like my iPad. Anyways, before we jump to the big topics, let's talk about some of the smaller stuff. The new features in terms of the controller with haptic feedback and the speaker, I think these are actually pretty cool. Some people say gimmicks, I say features. But this does impact battery life, unfortunately. Sony claims around 6 to 12 hours. 6 hours is roughly what my experience has been. So the PlayStation 5 does not come with 1 terabyte of SSD memory. It's actually 825 gigs, which of course, after setting it up and everything, what you're really looking at is 667.2 gigs of memory. So yeah, people are probably going to want to add some more memory in the future. This system, as well as the Xbox Series, does not come with the optical output. For me personally, I get why they removed it. It's actually very old technology, but there are a lot of people that wanted to use their old headsets with these systems. So there are some workarounds in regards to this. The last 2 headsets I purchased are wireless, so it's not really an issue for me. And if you're someone such as myself that prefers a home theater setup as opposed to wearing headphones, companies have already moved to HDMI hookups for soundbars and amps, so you probably aren't upset over this. But I still think this is a very important topic to mention because there's still people that use optical hookups for their headsets. Now let's get into the bigger topics. The first thing I want to talk about is backwards compatibility. Pretty much there is a very small group of PlayStation 4 games that can't be played. I will put these on the screen now. This information I gathered is from Eurogamer, so even though Sony has made some missteps in regards to backwards compatibility, they are clearly making strides to change that. But what's even cooler is, just like the Series X and PC, if you are playing a PlayStation 4 game and it is on SSD memory, it will load much faster as well as perform better. Now I want to make 2 very clear distinctions here. For the moment, I am not talking about PlayStation 4 games that are upgraded to PlayStation 5 games. I am talking about a PlayStation 4 game that you put into your PlayStation 5 and it plays as is. The second key point is that half the games run similar, but there are half that perform better or have an update to get a higher resolution. As you can see from this list, it's massive. I will leave a link down below in the description if there is a specific game you are curious about. This next segment will sound similar, but it is slightly different. There are in fact some games that offer a PlayStation 5 upgrade. Now, the Final Fantasy VII Remake had a free upgrade as long as you own the game. However, the caveat is that I had to upload my save file to the cloud and then download it to my PlayStation 5. Everything was fine until the cloud uploading part happened. I waited a really long time. I mean, a couple of hours long. I don't have crappy internet either, by the way, let's make that clear. Maybe it was because I don't have a PlayStation Plus membership, I don't know, but it was slow as hell. But once I got my save file on the system, it was all worth it. Don't come at me with a why didn't you just move the save file physically? I did that. The game acted as if this was the only way. Anyways, Death Stranding is another game that offers an upgrade for a price. It's only $10. Here's a semi-hot take on this. I don't find this unreasonable. What I do find unreasonable is games that offer no upgrade and want you to rebuy the entire thing. Now that's a shame. The thing is, this varies from company to company. Some games upgrade for a small cost. Some want you to just rebuy the entire game. Others offer this for free. And of course, some offer nothing, but the game just runs better. So one thing that made a lot of people upset was Take-Two stating that 2K 2021 would be $70. And of course, later Jim Ryan infamously stood his ground and said select first-party titles would also be $70. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, you will know where I stand on this. And if you are new, you will find out in time. But getting back to it, this ruffled a lot of feathers in 2020. But I think it's also important to know that these statements were made to test the waters. Now, games like 2K 2021, Demon's Souls Remake, and the Ultimate Edition of Spider-Man Miles Morales were touted as being $70 games. But I noticed that some games almost a month later were already being sold for $60. In fact, I got Demon's Souls for $50 on Amazon. Now, I know some of you might say that's a terrible example because Amazon does have a lot of deals going on. And I'm not even talking about this time of year. I'm just talking about Amazon has a lot of deals in general. But the thing is, it was also going for $60 at Walmart. I remember that because I almost got it at Walmart, and then I remembered it was cheaper on Amazon, so I held off on getting it in store. This past year, I have noticed a couple of the alleged $70 games selling for less than suggested retail price. Now, I totally get if you buy it day one from GameStop, you are gonna pay retail price. But I think it's important to know some places are willing to eat that $10 loss after a few months. Just something to keep in mind. So here's a list as of December 2021 of PlayStation 5 games that run at 120 frames per second. Keep in mind some of these hit 120 frames per second, but only by lowering the resolution. If you are not sure whether your TV can pull off 4K 120 frames per second, just think on a basic level, you would have to have HDMI 2.1 inputs in your TV, and it mentioned somewhere in the details that it can pull off 120 Hz. 4K 60 Hz is pretty standard and at a very affordable price right now, but 4K 120 frames per second is typically not offered on a $400 TV. And that's as far as 2021 goes. Now it's time to talk about the external SSD slot. Now, Microsoft opted to sell proprietary SSD memory cards. They are like ultra expensive memory cards. That's what they are. But Sony opted to allow you to choose your own SSD memory and heatsink and install it yourself. Now, some people think this is dangerous for soccer moms and other non-tech people. I get that some people might buy the wrong SSD. I get it. It's absolutely happening to someone right now. But over time, these things are going to get cheaper. And eventually, I think they are going to be cheaper than Microsoft's proprietary card. That is, of course, unless they're willing to break even or sell it at a slight loss. Now, I plan on installing a 1 terabyte SSD memory Sometime next year, maybe. But for now, I'm alright. I really think the only people this is going to affect or be an issue are people that play more than Madden and Call of Duty. Obviously, that's people like me. If this includes you as well, guess what? I think you got this, buddy. I think you're not going to have any problem following a simple basic video on how to install an external SSD memory. So now it's time to talk about what were the games that I played. What was the first game that I played? And you'll never guess what it is because yeah, it's not Miles Morales. It's not Ratchet and Clank. I could go on and on, but let's just end it right here. It was Guilty Gear. That's right, you heard me. It was a fighting game. Now, I know some of you may not be big into fighting games, but this game is stunning. It is such a sight to behold. I really can't believe how they keep making their games look better and better. I shouldn't say this, but damn it, I am gonna say it. I'm gonna go there. As some of you are aware, there has been efforts made in regards to Japanese devs adding darker skinned characters to their roster. That's awesome. That's beautiful, man. And some of you kids lost your mind about Leroy Smith from Tekken. I wasn't vibing with him. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I wasn't vibing with him. Just because you have a black dude doing martial arts and dreads flopping all over the place doesn't mean I'm gonna get excited. That's not how it works, homie. But take a look at this fine specimen of a man. Now this brother looks nasty. This guy looks fierce. I can get behind this guy. He is about the business.
Mankind knew that they cannot change society. So instead of reflecting on themselves, they blamed the beasts. Heaven or hell. Nagoriyuki versus Giovanna. Duel 1. Let's rock!
So next up is another game that people won't expect. I mean, well, maybe if you're not familiar with the channel, it's Genshin Impact, man. Well, if you're familiar with this channel, this is not surprising whatsoever. This is kind of my chill game I play. It's anime-esque. It has cute anime girls. I lose my shit every single time I don't get the character I rightfully deserve. Yes, I did say deserve. It's fine though. It's fine. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. This is totally fine. It's like I'll just keep throwing the garbage characters at me and I'll just be a sad, pitiful human being that keeps playing your game. It's fine. This is fantastic. I love it. I love every minute. Even though this is free to play and is on cell phones, I think it's a quality game. There is a lot of enjoyable content as long as you don't give in to the darkness. It can be totally free. I started this on the PlayStation 4 and it did experience a lot of frame drops at random moments. Now the game is 95% smooth. Every now and then you'll still experience a weird dip, but it's way better now. Third up should be pretty obvious. It's the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now the caveat is that I am a Final Fantasy VI fanboy, not a Final Fantasy VII fanboy. However, I approve of this game. I do stand by my 2019 criticisms. And if you don't remember them, I made a video about it and I was a little spicy, but I still stand by that video and I think it's hilarious, to be honest with you. But, you know, my criticisms were pretty much, I was afraid that this game is going to stretch to 3 to 4 titles in order for the story to finish. But I can respect this $70 version of the game I got. I enjoyed what I played. So replaying it in 4K at 60 frames per second is amazing. This game looks so damn good, and I was impressed with how it looked on the base PlayStation 4. We can have our little breakdowns and analysis on Square bloating the story out and whatnot, but it is undeniable that they put a lot of effort into this game. And again, the PlayStation 5 upgrade is free. You do have to pay extra for Integrate, but it is only $20. I am okay with this. The last game I checked out was Ratchet and Clank Drift Apart. To provide context, I play a Ratchet and Clank game every so often, but I have not played one in a long time. But this game was the first game to wow me. But I want to take a moment to acknowledge something. This game was the first next-gen game, was the first PlayStation 5 game, the first Xbox game. Well, you know, it didn't come on Xbox, but you get what I'm saying. It was the first game that wowed me and said, okay, this is what's different from PlayStation 5 to PlayStation 4. This is amazing. This looks incredible. And it looks like a lot of fun. And, you know, I'll be honest, we can sit here and have armchair dev discussions on whether this game could have been made on the PlayStation 4 or not. But I really don't care. The game blew me away. That's all you need to know. That's all you need is a game to be fun, look amazing. It just made me want to play the game. And I have not been disappointed. Now, I have installed Demon's Souls and Deathloop, but it is way too early to give an assessment on either. People that have watched my E3 videos know that Deathloop was a game I had my eye on for a while, so I can't wait to get deeper into this. So far, it looks really interesting. The last thing I wanted to cover was the easiest way to get a PlayStation 5. I'm not going to waste your time. I'm just going to say the easiest way is GameStop. I know you cringed when I said that. And I know it's the cool thing to trash on GameStop, but you can save yourself some stress and just become an ultimate member. Just bite the bullet, man. Give up. Surrender. Surrender to GameStop is what I'm saying. Yes, that means you have to become a GameStop member. And that also means you have to purchase a bundle. But you know what? So yeah, we're talking about spending a lot more money. But at the end of the day, some of these accessories you're going to need anyways. And it just weeds out a lot of people. Just trust me on this. This is the way to go. I think it's a complete waste of time to try and purchase one from Walmart or Amazon. Take it from someone who tried in the double digits for Walmart. Don't waste your time. Now, I know this was a lot of information to digest, but I just wanted to take some time and give some advice to people that are still working to get the PlayStation 5 or they're going to pick up one in the future. And I wanted them to just be aware of all these things surrounding it. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know how I'm doing. If you are an Xbox fanboy, fear not. I do have an upcoming Xbox All Access video, and this will be really interesting. It's not going to be like this video, but because Xbox is doing everything so much more differently. But I do have quite an interesting video about that, and that's what this channel is really about. Videos like this and the next upcoming video. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it's helpful to anyone in the future. And maybe if you already own a PlayStation 5, maybe you can offer some other insights that maybe I didn't have a chance to cover or something I left out. Please leave those in the comment section down below. Until next time, I'll see you in the next video.
That went pretty well.
Sure did.
Huh? Wait a minute. Did you just...
Nope.